All right, here we are back at the Jaguar. And John's got the rear out of it. That's what all this mess is. It's the rear end of the car. I'm hoping that he can get all this stuff back together. It's got enough dust and crap on it from me sanding the car that everything that was oily and greasy is now white and dusty. But here we are. I finally got the nose on, and I'm working on doing the straightening the body right now. And it's taking a lot of work. You put the putty on, sand it off. Put the putty on, sand it off, and that's all that I've been doing. I bet you there's 1.5 gallons of putty on the ground. I don't know how it works that way, but it always seems to do. I straightened everything just as good as I can because it was really crooked. I mean, you remember seeing it when it was standing up here in the corner, and when we went to put it on the car, nothing lined up. The body lines were just, this was real tight on both sides of this and loose over here, and then it got loose in here, and then it got tight down here, and I mean there was a straight line on this entire car. So I just buttoned it up fairly tight and took a metal cutting blade, went right down it and straightened everything. And boy, I tell you, I hope I never do another Jaguar, because these things are all over the place, and it's like sanding a beach ball trying to make it round again. They're in a flat place on this entire car. I mean, even the flat places are crooked. So it's but it's getting there. And where it just pulled the trunk lid out to look at it, and I thought it was in decent shape. And apparently they got body putty all over this too. And every place they had a bracket, big stainless steel bracket back here to hold suitcases. And all these were pulled out and cracked. The body putty was all cracked around them, so I had to push them back down and grind them down again. Grind all the putty, big old circle of putty. And so these are places, every place that I ground on this thing, it wasn't bent up. It was the putty was cracked for some reason, and I guess it was put on thick, and then it just got hammered and pushed and just whatever, but was all cracked. So I just grind it back down to metal, put another coat on it, and we'll sand it down and see how that works. I'll see if I can put it on as thin as I can, and because I like to sand as much of it off as I can to try to keep the metal, keep the putty thin on the car. That's the secret to this thing, to keep it from cracking. But it's hard to do because everything is so crooked, really crooked, not just a little crooked, wavy, crooked. It's whoever worked on this thing just did a terrible job. And of course, it was probably done back in the 70s. So it's, but heck with it. I'll get it done. And there's the nose that I worked on when it was up. That nose was all bent and crooked, but I've got it pretty daggone straight now, so we're good. So I feel like I'm on the home stretch, because all the putty I've got on it now, except this putty. This putty is the first coating of putty, but all the rest of it is the fine-tuning part of the putty, where it was just little places, and I put a thin skim coat, so it should sand fairly quick and fairly easy. And then I'll go ahead and I'll block the car with, I'll probably drop down to like 80 grit because right now I've been using, to straighten a lot of this, I've been using this 36, but I've also got 80. So I'll drop down to 80 and go over the whole car with 80 and block it one more time. And then this sucker's getting shot in primer. And I'll see if I can get the primer on about a ½ inch thick. So, so that he'll have something to sand. You know, he's going to do all that. He thinks he's going to paint it with a spray gun all by himself or something out under a tree. I just don't know. But whatever he wants to do is fine with me. Because, man, when I get through with this car, that thing needs to get away from me. I don't want to have this much fun on any car anymore. But, yeah, I learned a lot. Like, don't fuck with Jaguars. Other than that, it's all been good. But John's cool. But I guess that's where we are. And if I can get John to stay on the horn and try to get all this mess back under the car so this thing will roll. He might have taken it apart so he knows he can keep it here until he can build a garage, or I don't know, till a ship comes in or something and he wins the lottery and has a whole bunch of money, because I don't think he has a place to put it. But not my problem. I wouldn't put it outside on him, but I ain't gonna let him drag his feet, whatever. All right, because my shop is getting awful friggin' dusty in here. But this is his parts cleaner here, and here's parts of the rear end. He's off playing with his wife today instead of working. He keeps bringing me all these little trinkets he wants me to fix and work on. This is a front of a motor scooter he had, off an old Harley motor scooter of some kind. And somebody's worked on it and got it all boogered up and welded, and his thing is bent to pieces. It's bent and wavy. It's hard to tell just how bad it is, but it's actually too bad for me to work on. So I told him he's going to have to do something else. It looks like a very simple thing, but these panels are all wavy in here, and they were supposed to have been flat, and you know, they're rounded. So rounded, yeah, they're rounded like this, and they were supposed to be flat. And it's just not much I can do about it. I could almost cut them off and make a new piece. You know, I could probably make the whole thing new again. Just make it and start out with fresh metal, but I'm not getting into that, because, you know, he can probably find that piece that isn't too awful bad somewhere else for $50, but, you know, he just have to do a little leg work. But, all right, well, I just wanted to let you know what things look like. So here we are, and I'll check out and see you guys later. All right, bye.